Like I've stated many times, truth in movies, comedy, and TV shows. In this case, with the TV show titled The King of Queens, starring Kevin James. Just take a listen to what Kevin James says during these segments. The mention basically of the flat earth with the dome above it.
Let's open up our world. You know, I don't want to open up our world. I want to close our world. Build a dome over it.
If you don't want to meet any new people, why'd you agree to go out with them?
Because Carrie can't know about the dome.
And there you go. Carrie can't know about the dome, which is a reference to the masses. Basically, we're not supposed to know about the dome.
Because Carrie can't know about the dome.
We all gotta share this big spinning rock.
We gotta share this big spinning rock. More mockery.
We all gotta share this big spinning rock.
And all is quiet in the dome.
More of the same.
And all is quiet in the dome.
Now this is a perfect example for a useful idiot, this Kevin James. Before playing the clip, just take a look at his t-shirt he's wearing here. Of course, he's just an actor. The lines are given to him. His wardrobe is given to him. Again, nothing more than a useful idiot. You see, 1969, this is a reference to the year of the moon landing, which is, of course, a hoax. Now take a listen.
I need to know how this whole dome business works.
There you go. More of the same. Just for reference, I'm going to play some previous videos on the flat earth with the dome above us. How obvious can it be? A lot of people, they're in denial. Of course they are. They've been programmed for 30, 40, 50, 60 years to believe lies. It's very hard to change. Once you're programmed, I understand that. Understand, for those that are new to the concept, all these teachers, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, universities, they never been in space. They never saw the ball Earth from space. They're just relying on NASA and trusting NASA, a government agency, that they're telling the truth. Not first-hand knowledge whatsoever. This is how the governments, not just the U.S. government, all these governments are working together to deceive the masses. People might ask, why would they lie to us about living on a ball earth when we actually live on a flat earth with a dome? And as I've stated in previous videos, it's all about supporting the theory of evolution. So everything has to coincide with the school books. Can't teach evolution and teach at the same time that we live on a flat earth with a dome. That would obviously mean that there is a creator, which there is, of course. Now just taking a look at the ball earth, or the supposed ball earth, where the axis is 23.4 degrees off being vertical, it leads you to 66.6 degrees off horizontal. If you think this is just a coincidence, take a look at this. Earth is supposedly orbiting around the sun and moving at 66,600 miles an hour. Another thing I want to point out here, let's take a look. Now let's take a look at this model with the Earth supposedly orbiting the sun, and of course the moon orbiting Earth. And while this is all taking place, Earth is supposedly rotating. Now let's take a look at this image here of Polaris, the North Star. Take a look at this model here. Now, explain to me, for anybody out there, how is it possible for the North Star or Polaris to remain constant above the supposed North Pole while it's orbiting around the sun? It makes absolutely no sense because it doesn't happen. It does not take place. That's simple. Now let's take a look at this. Like I said, the Earth supposedly spinning at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. Gravity holds on the water, and the water is perfectly still. How is this possible? Earth is supposedly spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, wouldn't you think the water would fly off? This is not possible. People can't grasp reality because all they have been fed are lies. I showed this image before, Under the Dome by Stephen King. Again, mockery in plain sight, truth in plain sight. And let's look at this space shuttle launch from Cape Canaveral in Florida. As I mentioned before, the reason they have these shuttle launches, or supposed shuttle launches, into space, off the coast, so basically these rockets can land right in the water, right in the ocean. That's what it's all about. And later on, again, you see the supposed space shuttles, which are nothing more than airplanes coming for a landing. It's just like a movie. It's all edited, fit together for the public. Just take a look at this image as well. You really believe this space shuttle is going to outer space? This is completely ridiculous. Now let's take a look at this image here put together by David from deep inside the rabbit hole. Just look at the flight paths the airlines make people take. You will not see plane crossing from South Africa to Australia. That would be, of course, the shortest route. Here's the flat Earth model. Like he states, there's no shortcuts. And of course, UN logo, the same exact thing. You can go to this one website, which is called Flight Radar 24. And it shows all this flight activity worldwide. Interesting enough, you see all these planes flying all over the place. Understand, the so-called northern hemisphere, and with the flat Earth model, it does not affect flight paths. When you get to the south, that's where everything is stretched out. This is why you don't see these flights. Take a look here. You'll notice you'll never see, if you go to Flight Radar 24, you'll never see flights in the process of crossing from Southern South America to South Africa or South Africa to Australia. What I witnessed myself watching it over time is you won't see an actual plane crossing, but right when it reaches land, then all of a sudden it appears on radar. How amazing. I'm talking about how the game is rigged with this matrix and why so many can't see or understand what's taking place. Let's look at some of the deceivers. Of course, the public school system is going to teach, the ball earth, which is expected when it comes to these so-called Christians, these truth speakers such as Ken Hovind. This is how they control the matrix. They're going to have him tell you the absolute 100% truth when it comes to evolution, but he's not going to tell you the truth about the flat earth. So many of his presentations, you'll see that globe in plain sight right in front of his desk. He's pointing at it. And again, giving you 95% truth when he talks about evolution being a lie. When it comes to the ball earth, he's going to deny it. He's going to deny the earth is flat. He's going to stick to the ball earth theory. This is how they operate. Let's take a look at Ken Hovind. He was a member of the Prophecy Club. Nothing but a club of deceivers. I pointed this out before on my previous channel with all the Masonic hand signs. With this one with dark marquees. It just so happens their zip code in Topeka, Kansas starts with 666. Now what are the chances of that? They go out of their way to have the occultic numbers in plain sight. Like I just referenced, 666, 777, the 33, the 911. Always in plain sight. And also the signs and symbols, the sign of silence, all these supposed oath keepers of keeping secrets. Interesting enough, look at this Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield doing the same sign of silence. More recent news story with David Bowie supposedly passing away. He is part of the rigged game, the matrix that we live in. Now some might ask, if this is all true, why doesn't the news say so? Why does the news expose this as truth? Understand? People that are awake already realize this. The media is 100% controlled. Some might say, well, what about my preacher? What about my pastor? Why don't they tell me the truth? You see the problem here? All the Masonic hand signs, just like all the rest of the deceivers. These are all Freemasons, all liars. The game is 100% rigged. Just look at John Hagee's hands here, the devil horns. Take a look at this hand sign that he does twice here. Just like Anton LaVey. These are all Satanists. When the Bible states Satan deceives the world, that is very literal, as you can see. So the people that go to church, that attend services, they don't hear their preacher say 9/11 is not what we're told. Sandy Hook was a hoax. What happened in Paris, France is a hoax. This is because all those involved, all of TV, is 100% controlled. And again, this is how they control the Matrix. I'm making this video specifically for believers in God and the Bible. Forget about the atheists. Forget about the evolutionists. They're all toast. They're done. They're finished. They have been deceived by Satan, the god of this world, as stated in Corinthians 4:4. Now, for the Bible believers that use science to prove your point, with your belief that the earth is a ball spinning in the sky, understand Bible scripture. It's all here. We're in the very beginning in Genesis. It talks about the waters below and the waters above. Also mentioned in Psalms. It's also mentioned in the Bible how the sun moves and the moon as well. The stars fall to earth, mentioned in Matthews and Revelations. Okay, these are the so-called asteroids and meteors. Everything we're given by science, the history books, the schools, the media. It's basically a twist of truth. Things do fall from the sky, but it's not what we're told. They're stars. Those are the fragments from stars that fall to the ground. Now, it's mentioned 50 times how there are ends of the earth. 50 times. So again, there's no ends on a ball. It also mentions in the Bible how there's foundations, mentioned 25 times. Also, how the earth is immovable, it's fixed. Many times it's mentioned. I showed this clip before in a previous video. And this again is truth in plain sight, with those that control Hollywood showing us the truth in these cartoons. This is how they do it. They love to put the truth in what seems to be ridiculous, such as cartoons, Illuminati card games, movies, commercials. This is how they do it. They love to mock us with truth with these ridiculous cartoons in this case. Take a watch.
Steroid Santa Claus kicks and deals. It's a long fly ball going back, and the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium.
Now do you understand how this matches up with the Bible verse in Genesis? The waters above. You people understand and get it, what's taking place here. This is biblical. And this is meant as mockery. When people watch this, they have no understanding what this is all about. Now with the supposed live feed from the ISS, you get this bogus CGI satellite here. Where are all the rest of the satellites? Where are they? How can people see through this deception? You believe this is real? You gotta be kidding me. Again, complete mockery on the masses that take lies as truth and truth as lies. With all the videos I'm making covering the flat earth lately, I'm getting a lot of questions about satellites. You know, this is their evidence that the earth is a ball. Now let's take a look at these images of these satellites. Do these look real to you? I want you people that talk about satellites all the time to show me a real image of a satellite. All you get are these CGI images, not a single real image of a satellite anywhere. Why is that? All we get is this fake garbage. You get a CGI satellite, you get a CGI planet, all bogus, 100%. So, For all you people coming to my channel, talking about satellites, make a video, produce real satellites. You can't do it because they don't exist. Period. Supposedly close to 3,000 satellites up in space. Again, all we get is this fake garbage. Now let's look at what ISS has to produce as far as real satellites. Get that fake garbage. You get this. All CGI, computer animated. Looks like a video game. Where are the satellites? You don't see any because they don't exist. Look at this. Wow. You believe this is real? If you believe this is real, you're going to believe every single lie NASA, the media, your government tells you. You've been completely blinded from birth. You believe everything you've been told your whole life. And any time someone questions an official story by your leaders, you get angry, you get upset, you get defensive. Because no one likes to be told they've been lied to their entire lives. Just keep watching this video, and again, show me where the satellites are. There are none. At least with this fake computer animated garbage, I'm surprised they didn't make any fake satellites. I guess they think, oh, here's one. This must be real. Because this video is provided by NASA. But all you get, again, is computer animated garbage. Your whole life is nothing but garbage. Full of lies. That's all you get. You get angry at so-called conspiracy theorists who tell you the truth. Haters of truth, lover of lies. Now let's take a look at some photos supposedly from NASA of the ball Earth, the blue marble, spinning at 1,000 miles an hour in space. You believe these are real. All fake garbage. Again. How people can't see this? No clue. It's a waste of time arguing with these idiots that can't see their own two eyes. Unbelievable how the masses completely blinded by their masters. In a form of mockery with Hollywood, they're going to tell you the truth right in front of your face as form of mockery. Under the Dome, that TV show, it's exactly what we're living under, the dome. That's why all the images of Earth from space, all the fake satellite images, they're all fake. Why? They cannot get past the dome to take real images of Earth. That simple. So again, with these TV shows, such as the Big Bang Theory as well, they like to put the occult all in plain sight with these TV shows. And again, like I stated before, when you see a rainbow after it's done raining and the sky clears, what you get here are these water beads that act like a mirror that get a reflection from the dome that is above us. More of the same. That's a reflection. Again, the water acting as a mirror, a reflection of the dome above us. And I found this pretty interesting with the Sky Dome, another form of mockery with the name Sky Dome. It was built by IBI in Canada. What do you see? The upside down pentagram, right side up pentagram. The occult in plain sight. And this is their official website. Look it up yourself. I'll show some more images here from their website, giving the details about the Sky Dome. Now the occult with the sky dome. And what do you see here? The obelisk. Right outside. Again, all about the occult. All these large companies, to get their contracts, to be successful, they know their role. They know what they need to do. Just looking at some images here. More images. This is the one that's right in your face. You know, on their home page for the Sky Dome, this is their image. Again, with the occult in plain sight. Completely ridiculous how people can't see that those that rule this world worship Satan. Now, talking about Sky Dome, let's take a look here with The Simpsons. And of course, as I mentioned before, Matt Groening of The Simpsons, being a Freemason, what does he have? They're going to put the Sky Dome in one of their episodes. And of course, more little occultic symbol here. They're all about the occult. Everyone that makes on top of this world, with no exception, they're part of the so-called Illuminati, the elite, all those that worship Satan. And like I stated, the so-called elite work on opposites. Whatever is the truth, they're going to tell us the exact opposite. Like I stated with evolution, the earth being a ball when it's really flat, the distance of the sun, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, telling us how the sun is supposedly 93 million miles away when it's actually only a few thousand miles away. And with this video demonstration, I've showed this before in a previous video, you can clearly see how the sun is much closer. I'm going to actually show two footages, one of a time-lapse over Lake Michigan looking over Chicago, Illinois, and another time-lapse of the sunset in South Africa. Take a look, and I'll also explain the vanishing point. Now, as you can see, as the sun is basically just circling the earth, and you can clearly see how the sun is localized in this one area. You're going to see the clouds being lit up right here at this point. Understand, the sun is nowhere, again, as far as we're told, it's nowhere near as large as we're told. It's much smaller and much closer. It's all under the firmament. The sun was in actuality 93 million miles away. The whole sky should be illuminated. It's not. It's localized again. But it's a little bit more. You can clearly see what's happening here is called the vanishing point. It is not going over or under the ball. It is just circling, going around. And I'll show that in a second. I'll let this video conclude. And it appears at this point to go around the ball. It's not. Again, it's the vanishing point. I'll show that right now. And with this image, as you can see, these three telephone poles are the same height. You can see here the one nearest appears taller, and the one furthest appears smaller, to the point where you can't see them anymore, and they appear to disappear. Again, this is called the vanishing point. Now, taking a look at these real-life telephone poles, the same deal. These are all the same height, but due to perspective, one furthest away appears shorter when they're not. They're all the same height. And as you go down the line, the one furthest away appears to lose its legs, basically. You just see the top portion. That's the exact same thing that happens to the sun. This location here. Same exact thing. Now, taking a look at this time lapse from South Africa. Basically the same thing. You're going to see how the sun is moving and the earth is still stationary, fixed, like the Bible states. Clear as day. Take a look. And again, much smaller than we're told and much closer. Everything is within the firmament. No way this sun is 93 million miles away and this would happen. and obviously much smaller than we're told as well. Again, this is how they work on opposites. When you work off opposites, when you tell someone, for example, something is A, when in actuality it's Z, it's too far for the human mind to accept. And this is what they have done to the masses from generation through generation. Understand, 500 years ago, people believed the earth was flat. If you told them you were living on a ball, you would be ridiculed, made fun of. This is how society is controlled, the sheep mentality.
Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning, and it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the poles. So it's not actually a sphere, it's oblate, and officially it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it. But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby's a good way. It's like pear-shaped.
How do you like it? They tell you all the time what to do, what to think, what to feel. Do you want to be like a sheep? Like all those other people, man? Do you understand? That piece of shit up there, I never like him. I never trusted him.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that that was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens, in the firmament of the heavens, in the firmament of the heavens, in the firmament of the heavens." Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, "Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon." And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day. Fear before him all the earth. The world also shall be stable, that it be not moved. The Lord reigneth, he is clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed with strength, wherewith he hath girded himself. The world also is established, that it cannot be moved. Say among the heathen that the Lord reigneth. The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved. He shall judge the people righteously. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. For he looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heaven.